All eyes are on Marvel's Thunderbolts, with a disastrous showing at the box office with Captain America Brave New World. There is one question a lot of people have in mind. Will the Thunderbolts be a success? And what if it's a failure? That's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. One of the most requested topics for me to talk about in Ask Armin is the outlook for Thunderbolts. And this has more or less moved to the top of the, hey, please talk about this in a video, because of what happened with not just Captain America Brave New World under-delivering, but also Daredevil Born Again not doing the numbers that some people thought it was going to do. So how does this impact Marvel Studios and the Thunderbolts? So first and foremost, let me just talk about Daredevil. Daredevil was never going to set the world on fire and be the most watched Disney Plus show or even a Marvel show. Daredevil is more of a niche character that only us fanboys gravitate to. The average person doesn't care about Daredevil. I'm sorry to tell you guys that. And I'm sorry to tell you that as somebody who has 4 screen print Daredevil suits and 6 different accurate cowls. I'm a fanboy, but it's not going to happen for Daredevil. He's not on that level. If he was, we would have got a Daredevil film. On top of this, Captain America Brave New World. Well, the film that was expected by analysts to make about 550 to 600 million did not hit that. Sure, it made more than Captain America the First Avenger with a slightly higher budget, but it's still not a huge success. The reviews weren't there, and this was a film that was pitched just like Thunderbolts. Back to form. Check. Quippy, boots on the ground characters? Check. Oh, you all love the Incredible Hulk? Well, we'll just make this Incredible Hulk 2 in everything but name. Check. And the end result was low Rotten Tomatoes, low ticket sales. The film is a flop. Let's be real about it. Even if I like the film, and almost everybody I know in my personal life also really liked the film, it didn't resonate with a lot of people for whatever reason. So is that going to impact the Thunderbolts? I hate to say it, but yes, it will. It definitely will. And there's actually a lot of commonality between these two projects that's kind of scary if you think about it. So first and foremost, the main characters of both Thunderbolts and Captain America were largely established on a Disney Plus show that did the same amount of views as, well, slightly higher than Daredevil, and right on par with Agatha all along. That is a problem, because a lot of people went into and out of Captain America going, who's this Joaquin character? Never heard of him. He's the Falcon now? Hold up. The Wakandans made his new suit? Wait, hold up. What do you mean there's history with these characters? What do you mean it's been 3 years since Cap gave him the shield and now he's the new Cap? Wait, we're going back to plot points from The Incredible Hulk? And then on Thunderbolts, wait, hold up. There's a Captain America that wears an all-black suit? When was he Captain America? What did I miss? Hold up. The new Black Widow is the new Black Widow, but she was recruited by this character in Hawkeye? I didn't watch that. What are you talking about? Like, there's a lot here. And also the fact that it's being set up as sort of a loose sequel to the Avengers films, but also the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Ant-Man, Black Widow, and we've heard countless times this is essentially Black Widow 2. And you can see that because it's Yelena's film. Again, I think that that's a problem. So there's going to be a lot of doubt. Now, the only saving grace I can see for this film is if the reviews hit and everybody's like, character banter, it's here. The Marvel quippy is here. The Marvel humor is here. But also, the action is on point. It takes the story forward, and it's good. If that happens, I think you could be looking at a box office hit. Now, when people hear that, they're going to say, oh, he's saying $1 billion. Here we go. We're going to hold him to this. No, I'm saying like 600 million. Again, if we start saying everything needs to be $1 billion to be a hit, like we were in 2017, 2018, 2019, because that's the measuring stick that Marvel Studios put up, nobody's a success these days, you know? That's just fact. And we're going back to a place now where anticipation is, once you look at everything, you got to expect 500 to 700 million to be about where you're going to land. And I think Thunderbolts falls squarely into that safe territory. Now, the biggest factor, in my opinion, for Thunderbolts is not just possibly Marvel fatigue being a thing, because if it was, Deadpool and Wolverine would not have done good, right? So again, it's not Marvel fatigue. I think that there's just a lot of stuff coming out again, and I think that could impact it. So for example, let me just talk about the release date of Thunderbolts. First week of May. It's the typical Marvel Studios kick off the summer blockbuster film. For example, there's a couple films that are being looked forward to by a lot of people, including me. One of my most anticipated films this year is Sinners from Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. It's a vampire film. I'm there. That's a week before this film releases. But also, The Accountant 2 is getting a lot of traction, and Until Dawn. Say whatever you will about it, but that film seems to be tracking good. It's not going to be a billion-dollar hit, but it's going to be a modest hit for a horror film. And then, of course, we get into May. May 2nd, you got Thunderbolts, but in the next couple weeks, you got a couple more pretty decent-sized films that are coming, but it's not as stacked as July, for example, with 3 big blockbusters. So I think it could hurt Thunderbolts a little, but it's not going to hurt it so bad that the film is an automatic flop. But what if it flops? Well, if we've learned anything from Marvel Studios, these characters will continue to live on. They will show up. Sure, it took 15 years plus to get some sort of resolution on the events of The Incredible Hulk, but it happened. So if this film flops, let's say 450 million, 500 million tops, right? Is it a flop? Yes, but it's also going to depend on reviews. If the reviews are more on the positive side, like the first Thor and the first Avenger, which were both box office bombs, this franchise will be seen as successful, which is exactly why we're getting a Shang-Chi 2, despite the fact that its box office was relatively close to Eternals, but Eternals also cost a lot more, and people hated it. Shang-Chi was received well. So, if this film fails, it's all down to the reviews and the reception. And if it's positive, we don't gotta worry. If it's negative, and the film doesn't make money, then we'll talk about it and what happens with it after its release, which obviously I'll follow up with a, hey, what went wrong, like I did with Captain America. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.